This is the third lab about BGP. Let's go to action item number 6. We're going to work with as path, aggregation, and as set. So at Router3, validate that incoming routes have an as path, check the NS hub, and validate that you can reach those routes using ping and trace route. Then we're going to summarize networks at router 2. We're going to use an static summarization and dynamic summarization. Then we're going to add the asset, and we'll check the parameters as path and atomic aggregate. So let's go to router 3 and see what is going on with our routes. So if we see the BGP table, we can tell that routes coming from router 1 have this as path. They have a list of autonomous systems that where this prefix has been traveled across. So this is the first autonomous system. This question mark is telling me that this route was injected into BGP by using redistribution. Then it belonged to this autonomous system, that is where router 1 lives. Then this prefix were advertised into router 2 that lives in this autonomous system. The next hub is router 2. So for instance, these routes that come from router 2 only have one autonomous system in the AS path because they were injected in router 2, so they have only traveled across only one autonomous system. These ones have traveled across two autonomous systems. This one and this one. So routes that are coming from router 1 have two autonomous systems in the AS path, whereas the routes that come from router 2 have only one autonomous system because they have only traveled across this autonomous system. So let's try to ping them to see if we have connectivity. Probably maybe this one that comes from router 1. Okay, and we do a trace route. We can see that it travels through router 2 and then it jumps to router 1. So everything good so far. So now we have the next hop is correct. All the routes have as next hop router 2. Router 2 is the next hop for all the routes that we know about from BGP. So validate that you can reach them. We already did that. So we're going to summarize the 10.network using a static summarization and the 10.1 using dynamic summarization at router 2. So let's go to router 2 and use, I'm going to create, for the static summarization, all I have to do is create an static route for the summary I want to create. For instance, slide 16, and it will go to node 0. So now I have this route in the routing table. Now I have this route in the routing table, so that means that I can create a network command. Network 170. I'm sorry, I created a wrong one. This is not, this is, I'm sorry. Let me see if this is correct or not. Okay, yes, 10 dot, okay, sorry. So So I'm going to create the network command. Within the address family IPv4 network 10.2.0.0 mask. So this will create this advertisement to be sent over here. So let's see. So we have this. So the summary is created, but the disadvantage of this is that this still, I'm still seeing this. I'm still seeing all the member routes. I am seeing the summary, but I can still see the member routes. So this is not particularly a good way to do it. So that is why dynamic aggregation is used. So let's dynamically aggregate the other network. Aggregate address 10.1.1.0.0 255.255.0.0, and I will have to send summary only in order to only send the aggregate address. So let's see. So I just stopped sending all the 10.1 networks, and I am sending this summary only. Let's do that for the other one. Just for the kicks. And notice that I have reduced the BGP table to only two, with to only two entries. So we have summarized these networks. So let's see how they look in the real. Notice that they only have one autonomous system here. So, but I know that these routes can also come from autonomous system 6551. So where was it? So if I want to have that information in order to know how many autonomous systems this summarized prefix is gathering specifically networks from, I will have to issue the parameter as set. So what happens if I enter this and I issue this command again? So now I know that some of these prefixes that are included in this summary come from this autonomous system and from this autonomous system. So what happens if I issue this command to see the details? I can see that thanks to the attributes, I can know what is the router ID that performed the summary and at what autonomous system this summary was created. So this is known as the aggregator ID. This is another BGP parameter attribute. Okay, that's it.